Welcome back. A chilling case of mass murder unfolded in Kerala's Thiruvananthapuram when a 23-year-old man walked into a police station and claimed to have killed 6 people, including his mother, teenage brother and girlfriend. The police have so far confirmed 5 deaths. The murders took place at 3 different locations over the course of a few hours, and the murders reportedly occurred between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. on the 24th. It came to light after the accused surrendered at the police station and narrated the sequence of events. The police have confirmed the deaths of the accused's 13-year-old brother Affan, grandmother Salma Bivi, paternal uncle Latif, aunt Shahiha and his girlfriend Farshana. Affan's mother is in critical condition and is undergoing treatment at the Medical College Hospital in Thiruvananthapuram. Police are yet to determine the motive behind the killings and have launched a detailed investigation into the mass murder. Police have revealed that there are indications of financial issues and gold is reportedly missing. A hammer has also been recovered from the crime scene, and in fact, Affan was reportedly in huge debt due to losses in his business, and his family was reluctant to cover for him. So the big question that arises is the motive behind the killing spree financial feud, or is there more to it, and what also explains this sordid, morbid behavior? We'll talk about this with our guests. Dr. Swati Jindal, advocate on record, Supreme Court, joins us on the show. Dr. Kapil Kakkar, psychologist, also with us on the program. Dr. Ishwar Gilada, infectious disease expert, member of the governing International AIDS Society, also joins us on the show. Mr. Sanjay Sahai, former IPS, with me on the program as well. Thank you everyone for being a part of this conversation. Mr. Sahai, I'll begin with you, sir. So your first impressions of what happened over here. 5 people brutally murdered and hacked to death over money. The role of the police and all of that is still too early to comment on, but what do you make of this case?
I think it is too nascent a stage, and the reaction of the concerned accused might be it is overreaction over a couple of things, might be financial issues. So that being said, currently at the stage where we are in, the motive remains unknown, and even the weapon which has led to this particular murders, I think that also remains unknown. The nature of injury is unknown, so we cannot fix it to the hammer that is being talked about. There might be other weapon also involved. So there has been no criminal record as far as whatever is available in the public domain. There can be mental health issues also. As far as the financial motive is thought about, I think everybody getting involved with that sort of a financial issue, that seems to be a bit far-fetched. Unfortunately, what has happened that all the main people have been killed by this accused, and only surviving person is the mother, who is in a critical state of affairs. And it's very difficult to interrogate her in this particular situation. Police on their own would certainly be working out all the circumstantial evidence for the last couple of months, and the phone records, and if there is some computer and laptops as a part of the seizure, I think that will help us in reaching the motive, because motive needs to be, that is most important, motive and weapon to connect crime to the criminal, and also the mental state of the concerned accused. I think that also is a big question mark, because not everybody out of financial debt reacts in this manner. And even if he reacts in a manner which is crime prone, is primarily with 1 or 2 persons who have not provided him assistance. But killing away all 5-6 people, he tried for 6, 5 are already dead. I think seems to be a very, very strange sort of incident which needs further investigation.
Okay, it definitely needs further investigation. Dr. Kakkar, what do you make of this brutal killing? What explains this kind of behavior? What went through your mind when you heard, a family member doing this to his own family? There's obviously has to be a history of psychosis.
Mental health issue in such cases ensue and manifest when somebody is in a state of hopelessness and helplessness and in a state of despair, and it has been going on for a good amount of time. What I can figure out from whatever information I have is that this person would have tried to come out of this financial mess, would have contacted everybody in the family and expecting a lot of support, both countenance as well as certain kind of financial support, which he would not have received. when in such cases, when they don't receive it, then they start planning things like, what do we do next? If I'm able to repay something, and it is also, and they start blaming family members also in a certain way, because that is how we are trained, that our family is our fourth pillar who is always going to stand by us. So in such cases, when that does not happen, these kind of people would think, okay, so the best way is to end my life. But the question is, but even if I end my life, why should I end it by myself? I need to take revenge. I need to take revenge on people who always promised they would stand by me, and here they are, the people who have left me in complete lurch. So when such kind of thought process starts going into someone's mind, because what information and report that you have shared, it was a planned murder, and such planning does not happen overnight. This person would have, over a period of couple of months, 4, 5, 6 months, would have initiated, would have done every kind of would have made every kind of effort to convince the family members, and then he would have drawn this conclusion that there is no point talking to them, and perhaps ending their life, taking their life in a form of revenge. So this fellow was in a severe depression and mode, and totally in a loneliness mode, where he did not get any kind of help. When I say help, had he taken any psychological help, so this would have led to a psychotic behavior which manifested in this form that we now see.
All right, psychotic behavior which is manifested in this evil form. Dr. Swati Jindal, what do you make of this horrendous case? There is no recourse in law also which can defend when a person has already admitted and surrendered.
See, at this stage, like Mr. Sahai said, it is very, very difficult to sort of give any sort of idea as to why he would have done it. Even though on the face of it, some might say that it is a planned murder, I would not say that it is a planned murder, because had he planned it, he could have done it in a much better way. He would not have just gone on a killing spree, which negates all elements of having planned the murder, as some say. On the other hand, the idea that there must be some mental issues that he was experiencing at that stage definitely makes sense, because a person has to be at a high level of despair in order to do something that is so, outrageously heartless. Considering that he has killed his grandmother, who was 88 years old as per records. His own mother he has attempted to kill, then his I believe, paternal uncle and aunt, his brother who was a very young age, 14 years, along with his girlfriend who's only 19 years. It seems that he was in a big trouble. Whatever we have as of now is the fact that he has suffered huge losses, trying to do some kind of a business in the Gulf country. We don't know more than that. We also don't know, see, even though it says that he has given this sort of a testimony that I have consumed rat poison. Maybe at that time he thought that he's consuming rat poison, and he thought that he'll end everybody's misery along with his own. But from what has come on record till now is that after his medical inspection, there is nothing inside his body to show that he has consumed any kind of poison. So even though he has surrendered before the police, he cannot be held accountable for this act solely on the basis of his testimony. He being the person accused, his own words, any kind of surrender that he does before the police station, if at a later point he retracts, as per law, he's fully capable of doing that. And we will have to see under what circumstances he has done whatever it is that he has been alleged to have done, whether he has actually done it, under what circumstances did he do it in a fit of rage. On the face of it, it does not seem so, because he has had to travel long distances between the crimes that he has committed. So we can't say that it was a fit of rage. What compulsion was there on him so that he was ready to murder so many people, that remains to be seen, and nothing can be said as of now based on the limited amount of evidence that we have on record.
Dr. Gilada, your impressions of this case, sir?
Basically, we can all debate, but this is very much akin to the mens rea principle, which is there in forensic medicine. It's a Latin word, mens rea. Without intention, nothing happens. Though the intention at face may not be open, but in his mind there has to be some intention. That and mens rea, it can be a psychological issue, and definitely it is 100% psychological. No sane person would do that. It can be due to substance abuse or alcohol abuse. It can be due to intense emotional stress somebody is going through. It can be due to lack of emotional support, which is very much lacking in the current fabric of society. And people have a very small threshold of action. So, and this can be a kind of a serial murder, but at least he has surrendered immediately. We have known of a Charles Shobraj who had done almost 20 murders of tourists in India and Thailand and other places, and that was in 1970s. So it can be anything, but basically at face of it, it looks like a person was under serious stress, maybe addicted to something, maybe financial problem, maybe both, maybe multiple more factors, and there is definitely emotional and social stress factor which is involving him in this kind of thing. This can be a kind of a first degree murder which has intention. But if there is no intention, then there is a recklessness, and that is a second degree murder. And then it can be also a manslaughter, but manslaughter is negligence, like you are holding a gun suddenly because of negligence, something happened. So it is not into that category, but definitely first degree or second degree murder. And as and as time passes, we'll know what could be the intention. But one thing is very, very clear, that in society, in a fragmented society, in a STEM family, there is no stress absorber. In our childhood, we used to have a grandparents or uncle or somebody where you can vent your grievance and you will get emotionally better and solve the problem. Those things are not there. So suddenly something comes to mind, go on Google, what kind of, how to implement this, then they will find. So I think it has become very easy for them to act and react, and then suddenly he might go through guilt, and he might go through again emotional stress during his period of incarceration. But things are not so good, and we need to look at a general psychological behavior of people, in particularly children, young people in the family, for a small thing, for a love affair, for drug, for alcohol, they can commit any kind of crimes.
You're absolutely right about that. And Mr. Sahai, you've been a part of some of these shows that we have had in the past as well. There was a similar case in South India from a few weeks before as well. There is no way of knowing when somebody can snap and something like this could occur. But in your mind, are there any deterrents to such behavior? Are there any predictable parameters for such a behavior? What do you think leads to this?
I think the country has decided to keep away from mental health, and that is the biggest challenge. So there is no way we can understand a person until and unless he is evaluated by a clinical psychologist or a healthcare professional. And he cannot be evaluated until unless you provide him enough of scope in the regular mainstream of society, where he can go and confidentially express as to what he is going through, and the concerned person will advise you. Whether he takes the advice, he doesn't take the advice, a different story altogether. As per whatever data is available in the public domain, I think 3 out of 5 people, they face mental health issues for a variety of reasons, in a variety of ways, and that is getting very clearly manifested in large number of cases we see on a regular basis. So if we are not able to bring mental health into the mainstream, and we don't provide that safety net which doctor was talking about, which was earlier when our grandparents were there. So both the things are missing. So the modern systems are missing, the earlier age-old systems have vanished, and you are left in the lurch. Failures will happen, people will face variety of issues in life, but if there is nothing to support, And then you think of the social security mechanism. I remember of a French lady long time back while I was in the police. She came and she had fallen in love with somebody in this country. And then there was some issue and she just wanted to go back. Why she wanted to go back to France? There's only one simple reason, that there is social security. So if health and social security, two issues are taken, I think even in the worst of circumstances, we have some hope that the society, and currently the society primarily means the government agencies and variety of healthcare programs and institutions which are there all around the place. Now, how many schemes of government we have? How many guarantees? Variety of things we have. Do we have anything to take care of our mental health? I have never heard of anything to take care of the mental health. And lo and behold, people who are decision makers also are making n number of mistakes, deliberately or otherwise, thinking themselves to be great people because they are not in a very stable state of mind. We would not like to comment on variety of people, but we are saying that decisions which come through, if they cannot pass through the test of time. See, if I'm a big person, if I am a decision maker, and if my decision is not able to go through the test of time over and over again, and that we find with variety of dispensation, inclusive of hospital administration. So that is where we stand, and it is a great fear which is gripping the society. We can take it as individual cases here and there. Nonetheless, there is a clear-cut pattern, and we see this pattern unfolding in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's something of this nature. Sometimes you have Alzheimer's. Sometimes you have variety of other things which we have discussed with it quite a few times. So that is my take.
You're absolutely right, sir. And Dr. Kakkar, any telltale signs of something extraordinary in terms of behavior that could serve as a prevention before something like this, before something which is so high in terms of its calamity quotient takes place?
Sure. See, first I would like to point out why such things are happening and why mental health has become even more important today is because people have very high aspiration and unrealistic motives. Because with the startups and the success that we see all around, when people are not able to endure their own failures, what they start doing is, and in the era of Facebook, Instagram, etc., when they see the world around them happy, where the world is not actually happy, but the pictures and the videos which are posted would primarily tell them that they are happy. I can tell you so many cases where the couples are posting their videos and after 2 months they are going for divorce. There are so many cases, but to the world outside, it looks to be as if everything around is good. However, one more thing, that there is a thing called family side. If you would see off lately, because of such thing, because of higher aspiration, lot of people have taken lot of debts, and there are couples who have committed suicide along with their children, and this you would see in the newspaper every second and third day. What does this show? This shows that people don't primarily have faith in mental health because they feel nobody can fix the problem, because they have been raised with a concept that you need to resolve your own issues and your own issues are confidential. Secondly, they also feel if they're going to go out, they would be judged. They would be judged as being failures. Now, when I was talking about family sides, you would also see people or families who have committed suicide. The people, the neighbors and the family members, even their parents did not have even in the stretch of imagination, they would have imagined that they meet them a day before and the next day they see them committing suicide. So in today's time, when you are asking me what can be the symptoms, etc., so the symptoms can be in a very shallow manner, in the sense that when somebody would say to a friend or to a family member that I'm not too happy with life, or if they are using a word suicide or kill by any chance, it should be taken 200% seriously. But what normally is done is we tend to overlook it, saying that okay, so this is just an expression used, but this is a person who will never do it. So my point is, there are always certain very subtle suggestive signals which such people would share, but they would be so subtle that the others are not going to take seriously. So, lastly, every word that when people in despair, whatever they say, should be taken seriously, and the questions should be raised, and others in the family should be informed so that they can also monitor and help them.
All right, Dr. Gilada, almost out of time. Let me just quickly take in a word from you and Swati Jindal, and then we'll wrap up. Dr. Gilada.
Yeah, very nicely suggested by Mr. Sahai as well as Dr. Katkar. Mental health is totally different. Mental health, emotional health, sexual health, they are part of physical health. And Government of India had even earmarked a budget 1 year before for mental health. But I don't see any credible program anywhere which are implemented. They have even an enlisted agency called NIMHANS, which is a very big mental health institute from Bangalore. But we have not seen any credible program. Secondly, this is a very much a single serial killer where there is no second person involved. So in such cases, it is all the more important that this person never got any kind of emotional support. Otherwise, you would have involved somebody else. So emotional support is very important, and we need to actually this kind of issue should open up our eyes that we don't need to have murders and serial murders to understand. There are people coming in our clinic which are having a nail biting habit, and nail biting is also mental health problem. Trichotillomania, they take out their own hairs. The people who have n number of mental problems, and in society there is a stigma attached to mental problem because no, मैं पागल थोड़ी हूँ, I am not mad. So there is a stigma attached to psychiatrists, psychological issues, mental health issues, and therefore we should call emotional problem because emotion everybody has. Positive or negative, having any mental health problem or not having the mental health problem. So if we redesignate some words, inculcate a behavior where they can seek help, either from elderly or from peers or from somebody, and wherever they go and see the information, that information should have pop-up of a helpline, and that has to be inculcated on all the sites. Then we can prevent. Otherwise, it is just one issue, and we cannot prevent the other issues going to happen in society. We need to work on a much larger plan.
All right, Swati.
Yes, I think Dr. Gilada is right here. See, until and unless we untaboo the word mental health, nothing can be done. We need to make these people understand that if they are having an issue with their mental health, it is just like having a fever or having any kind of other physical ailment that you have. So when you are so unhesitant in approaching a doctor for a fever or for any other viral infection, why not mental health? The day the society, the public in general, stops judging people on having mental issues, and the day they realize that a small part of us everywhere is suffering from some mental issue or the other in today's rat race, that is for sure. There are moments of despair in everyone's life, whether we admit it or not. But yes, due to other mitigating factors, like one of them said, having a supportive family, or for that matter, having colleagues or your peers or anybody who's willing to listen to you, even if it is a pet, anybody who will bust your stress at that time. So many people have said that, a person who's having suicidal thoughts, that even if he is distracted for that one vital final second just before he takes that decision, that will avert his attempt forever. So we need that one support from the society around us, be it in the form of various helplines that the government can project. Apart from this, I think we need a social awareness drive on a very large scale, a scale which only the government can match, in order to ensure that the taboo that this word carries with it everywhere, that taboo is removed. And once that is done, I'm sure that the world will be more accepting of anybody who's suffering from mental health issues, and we will finally be able to address them and make them better.
Well said, Swati. Well said. Appreciate everybody's perspective, and we got some really amazing and unique and all-round perspectives on this heinous crime that has taken place in Kerala. We've run out of time. We'll take a short break now. Be right back.